The not so fun thing that ended up happening is once we came back from Virginia and everything was settled with my mom's house, there were some bumps in the road. We had an offer and the woman had backed out. One of the biggest things we had to take care of were bats in the attic. And we're not just talking about a few little bats. I thought maybe a dozen, a couple dozen. No. By the time the pest people came in and cleared out that attic, there were over 150 bats. That's crazy. That's stuff you never think about. And that's one of those things that in this whole process, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I now have to deal with bats on top of losing my mom, on top of all of this shit to take care of. But then I had to laugh. Like, it's my mom, who was a little reluctant to update and take care of certain things she needed to, kind of like her medical care in eating right and exercising and trying to take care of her health. Certain things she probably should have been digging into at her house, like the weird little scratchy sound in the attic are your bats. So we had all that taken care of. And the deal closed, and it was this past August. Like I said, this is 2024 right now. It was this year. And once that was done, and it was such a weight off my shoulders because I feel like everything was taken care of. Everything that needed to happen was done. That's when a new range of shit hit. And that was with me. You don't realize when you are mourning the loss and going through grief and all of this that's happening with you when your loved one is gone, that you're building up so much stress, so much fatigue, so much malnourishment for yourself because you don't think to eat. I would go all day with having maybe a bowl of cereal because I didn't want to eat. I'm not thinking about food. I was thinking about my mom. And then I wasn't exercising. I wasn't drinking water. All of these things that build up in your body. And stress is pretty harsh. So once I calmed down from the tensions and everything with selling her property and her house and settled into just grief that she wasn't here, it was like not even a floodgate. It was like a dam breaking. And every little thing I would see would remind me of her. And then I would just sit and cry. And I would just lay on the couch. I would watch stupid TV shows. I would try and find anything that could take me out of the mood and make me smile, make me forget. And a lot of times it just didn't work. Because stupid things would make me start bawling and would trigger me and set me off. Scrolling through the Spectrum TV lineup and seeing that golf was on. And she would watch golf every time it was on, especially if there was a tournament on a weekend. She loved golf. So seeing one of the tours pop up or be flipping through and there's people golfing, I would cry. Going past the freaking Hallmark Hall of Fame channel, because that was on a lot. I mean, Christmas in July. It wasn't for her. It was Christmas in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So seeing that would make me sad. And I was like, how am I going to deal with the grief? And what I wasn't asking as well was, how is my body going to deal with the grief? Because then all these things started happening. I started noticing like my digestive system, my stomach, my intestines, everything was messed up. Different body problems that I was attributing to the fact that I am perimenopausal. Menopause is around the corner, so let's just lean into me saying it was menopause symptoms. But a lot of it wasn't. A lot of it was built up stress. And after going to a gastroenterologist to see, because I had had a colonoscopy 4 years ago, wasn't due for another one for a year, I swore up and down something's wrong. Do I have colon cancer? Do I have something wrong with me? Going to the doctor, he's like, let's pump up the fiber. And as soon as he found out that my mother had passed a few months prior, he goes, your body is releasing a lot of fatigue and a lot of stress. I didn't hit up benchmarks for a lot of the other things that could have signaled that it was cancer or IBS or something really wrong. He's like, just be gentle with yourself right now. Pump up your fiber. Let's change the diet a bit. Go on a FODMAP diet, which look up FODMAP diet. I'll put a link on the channel for anybody that's interested. It's just changing up a lot of the foods that are probably triggering the microbiome in your gut, in your system. So he said, try that. Then I started having issues where I thought, do I have breast cancer? Is there something going on where TMI, guys are watching this, sorry, women will understand this, but nipples that were itching and peeling like I had a sunburn. And thinking, okay, is this menopause symptom? So then I made an appointment to my GYN. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What's happening here? And my GYN was like, it is probably hormones. I agree with the gastro doctor. You're probably releasing a lot of stress and have had a lot of things that are happening metabolically in your body, chemistry-wise. He goes, it's in both nipples, so I'm not worried about it. He told me to use the cream that's basically for nursing mothers when they start cracking and peeling. So anybody that has young kids is probably like, that sounds familiar. So doing that. Went to my regular doctor to check on stuff. Went to my dermatologist because I'm always having spots removed because I'm getting older. And anybody, when you get older, you'll start being like, hey, what's that freckle? Hey, what's that mole there? Wait, why is my skin discolored in this place? It's aging, and a lot of times it's sun damage. So I was worried I had set different things off on my body with that, and then noticed I was having eczema. So when I went to the dermatologist, he's like, everything else is looking fine. But yeah. And he goes, the eczema is a byproduct of stress. And he goes, every doctor that's telling you that these things are happening to you because of the stress and the grief and what you're dealing with are pretty dead on. So despite creams and mammograms and everything I had done under the sun, everything was negative. And everything really was a product of stress. I have one friend, and his sister, when their mother passed, he said, yeah, because of all the stress she was under, she one day just had sores develop in her mouth and couldn't figure out why and what was going on. And they went to the doctors and figured it was the byproduct of losing her mom. So no matter what's going on, make sure if you're worried about something, you definitely go see a doctor. So make sure you're doing what you can to take care of yourself and carve out some time to do the things to help release some of the stress. And always remember, give yourself the opportunity and time to grieve. Don't feel bad if you need to cry. Don't feel bad if you're angry and you go through the stages. Whatever you can do to help yourself, whether it's yoga or taking an exercise class, Pilates, or even downloading some amazing apps you can have on your phone. One of my favorites is the Calm app that takes you through breathing exercises and helps you just clear your mind. Because no matter what, once you've lost a loved one of the most important things to remember is that you do also need to remember to take care of yourself. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos.